You are way behind 90% of people your age if you cannot communicate confidently. It is statistically proven that people who are better at communicating earn more money, they get higher paying customers, and are more attractive and desirable to potential partners of the opposite sex. If you look at the world, especially in the context of sales, there is a lack of effective communicators. People want them, people crave them, especially customers and women, but they are almost non-existent. And when there is not enough supply to meet the demand, you could just be a little bit less worse than the next person, and now you're rare, you're exquisite, you're invaluable. In a world where everyone is sitting, all you have to do is stand up, and now you stand out. So you'd be pretty dumb to click off this video, because these next few minutes might just be your ticket to living a life on your terms and not anyone else's, because you're probably making the mistakes I'm going to show you in this video. Clear communication is the modern VIP pass. It gets you into rooms taller guys can't reach, it opens doors that good looks won't, and it works in every environment. And you'll never be broke or alone if you know what to say. When you know the words to say, people look at you differently. I'll show you how. Years ago, I lost $25,000 in less than 25 seconds, and it was all from a phone call. You see, when I was 22, I met a girl, and things just happened so quickly. You see, after that first kiss, we started to spend a lot of time together, holidays with each other's families, hunting, building a life, sharing laughs. We fell in love. Then we got engaged, and I remember just months away from our wedding, she called me one night and she said, "Do you remember when you told me to tell you if I was ever unhappy?" And I knew right there, you already know how the story ends. The woman who picked out our furniture was now picking apart our future. And sure, I was heartbroken, but that didn't matter that much when I considered, how did this happen? The person I spent the last 2 years with not only betrayed, but blindsided me out of nowhere. Just the day before it was all lovey-dovey, can't wait to marry you stuff, and now today, it's I'm pulling the plug. How did I not see this coming? How did I not understand what's happening before it did? And it showed me a lot of weaknesses in my communication. If only I would have known mathematics back then this would have never happened. So that was when I developed a lot of anger. I would look at myself in the mirror and say, how did you not see this coming? I thought I was stupid, even though I wasn't. And because I had built that anger and those feelings I felt, my communication suffered. I went from making 30 grand a month in sales down to 5,000 the next month. The real cost? My confidence vaporized. Because when you stop trusting yourself, nobody else trusts you either. Family and friends ask, "Mason, what did you do wrong? Like, what did you say? Why did you mess things up? I thought you said you wanted a family." I did want a family. They just didn't want me. And now you're probably wondering why I have this drawing up. You see, this hose was me just a few short years ago. And this hose represents your inability to articulate and speak fluently. The flow of water represents the quality of your communication. So when my speaking and sales were suffering, it wasn't because I was bad, it was because it was kinked up. It was full of potential, but kinked up by negative feelings. For me, that was anger. For you, that may be lack of confidence, anxiety, guilt, shame, a fear of being seen. I could feel the words, like the water inside of me, but when I opened up my mouth, a weak trickle. I don't care if you're the best speaker in the world, if you're worried about what people are going to think, or you have anxiety, you will not be able to speak competently because the flow of water is not what it should be. You'll feel the kinks in the hose, okay? Let me know what your kinks are in the comments. This may feel like an actual block in your throat, and the way you remove this is by straightening the hose. And just like you don't have to know how electricity works to flip a switch, you don't have to understand what forms your kinks in your communication hose. You can just straighten the hose. However, if you would like to know, you can ask yourself the question, what am I afraid of happening? And here's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life. Anything somebody tells themselves about something happening in the future, they have made it up. It has not even happened yet. Every what if scenario is a horror story, and the brain doesn't know the difference between real events and imagined ones. And so what people think they feel is fear, when what they did was make something up. So once you have these kinks in your hose, your flow is limited. And no one's hose is ever fully rid of kinks, mine included. But it's about how much we can straighten it. I fear things as well. I just have less kinks in my hose, which means I have more flow. I have less blockage, which naturally makes me a much better communicator compared to most people, which means I get the better opportunities that pass other people up. If communication were a car, most people's foot would be on the gas and the brakes at the same time. And so what I'm about to give you is going to help you remove your foot from the brake pedal. That way you can get where you're looking to go faster and you won't have to stop for gas as much. We're going to straighten your communication hose. I'm about to give you the 3 things that massively improved my communication, which means people will pay attention to you. So the question, what am I afraid of happening? That forms the kinks. Now how do we remove them and straighten the hose to speed up the flow? Up first, the answer to that question we just asked, you ask it, what do I gain out of this happening? And what that does in the brain is we switch from loss to gain. For me, I wasn't just losing my fiance, I was losing my self-approval. I thought I was losing my identity. What I was really gaining was proof I could rebuild it. And I was who I said I was. And life gave me the perfect platform, the perfect opportunity to show it. That wedding was one of the best things that never happened for me. This brings us to the second lesson. There's 2 categories of communication. 1 is what you say, 2 is what the other person hears. You see, the kink forms when what you say isn't what the other person hears. See, I was on a sales call the day after my breakup, and one of the prospects said, "Mason, are you okay? You just seem off compared to when we spoke last week." And I said, "Yeah, I'm just tired." Here's what they actually heard. "I don't care about helping you or getting this deal." So most of the time, it's not in the words you say, it's how you say it. I can't tell you how many interactions with women I've had where I've said something that was true, but because of my tonality, they had an issue with it. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. So think, what emotion do I need to speak with to have the message land, to stick on the dartboard? You see, only 7% of our communication is verbal, words. 38% is tonality, or how we say those words. And so, if you'd like just a sample of these techniques given to you on a template I have, my newsletter link below, when you go opt in, I'll give you a full guide on reframing and communication that rigs the game in your favor, especially for consultants, coaches, and salespeople. I'll also link a video at the end of this one that shows you how to shape perceptions and opinions of what other people hear so they come to a conclusion you wanted them to have, but they'll think it was their idea all along. Third, what do most people do when it's time for them to speak, especially in public, on stage, in sales calls, or when they feel nervous? They increase their rate of speech, they try to hurry, and they try to finish talking, that way they can go back to whatever they were doing. And this one is really straightforward. When you try to fly through what you say, the audience feels that energy that is at bay. And it feels bad. All you have to do is slow down. Just slow down. Watch how much more relaxed you feel and how much more the audience enjoys it and how many more customers willingly give you money. It makes them see you as confident. It portrays you as a confident person. You see, most people on YouTube talking about this get it wrong. Panic moments aren't in your minds. Panic moments are in your lungs. And this is how I fixed it. You see? And as a 4th bonus tip, one you might already sense, read physical books. If that's not possible, digital or audio books still help, but physical books uniquely reshape the mental landscape. Every page you turn expands your linguistic territory. It's cultivating your vocabulary with a richer density and a higher intellectual currency. Each syllable becomes valuable, amplifying your voice and commanding attention. So think of your vocabulary like nutrition. Books transform empty conversational calories into nutrient-packed, satisfying words. Your conversations become like smoothies, densely packed, flavorful, and deeply satisfying, leaving listeners craving more. just one more sip. And so if you'd like me to create a more advanced video on linguistic patterns and powerful communication techniques, especially ones that reach customers and listeners on a deeper level, let me know in the comments below or leave a like. So there you have it, 4 tips to instantly improve your communication by 89%. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of happening? And turn your fear into gain by asking, what do I gain if this happens? Ensure what you're saying matches what they're hearing. Adjust your tone to deliver the right message with the right emotion. 3, slow down your speech to project calm confidence to your audience. 4, read more physical books to enrich your vocabulary, making each word you use more powerful and satisfying to hear. And now, when you want to master the powerful communication techniques that makes people think your idea was theirs, click this video on the screen right now, where I'll reveal to you exactly how companies like Apple, Tesla, Netflix, even the food industry uses this invisible influence to drive billions, with a B, billions of dollars in revenue every single year. I'll see you there. Click here now.